Hi Stampers, today we'll be making this monkey birthday card, and to make this we will be using two Stampin' Up stamp sets. The first is Fox and Friends and we'll be using the monkey, and the second is On Your Birthday and we'll be using the Look Who's Turning stamp set. We'll also be using three colours of cardstock: Early Espresso, Old Olive and Crumb Cake. To start off with, you'll take one of your pieces of crumb cake. The measurements can be found at my blog and the link to my blog is in the description. And we're going to use a sponge and some Old Olive ink and just quickly ink around the edges. And there you have it. We will then attach this layer to the base of the card, which is Early Espresso, using tape. This piece will now be set aside while we start cutting out all our little elements for the card. On a piece of crumb cake we will now stamp 5 of the monkeys in Early Espresso and cut those out. I have already done 4 of the monkeys to save time, and they are here. So we're just going to cut around the edge, leaving a small gap around the body of the monkey. And there you have it. So in the end you'll end up with 5 of these little monkeys. And now we'll move on to the next element and put these aside. Now with a piece of Old Olive, we are going to take the Stampin' Up two-step bird punch and we are just going to cut out the branch and the wing. You will need 6 branches and 4 wings. I've already cut out my wings and my branches to save time, and now we will set the branches aside, and with the wings we're going to take a Stampin' Up Certain Celery marker and draw a line down the center of all 4 leaves or wings, like so. We will then take a pair of scissors and just cut small triangles out from the side of the leaves. And there you have one of our leaves. I'll be back in a moment. Now that we've finished cutting our leaves, we then use a Old Olive sponge and just give a quick ink around all the edges. I've already done the other 3 and then they're ready to adhere onto the card. Now that all of our elements are done, we'll then get our card base and we'll just line up all our elements just to make sure we know where we want them. And then once we have those lined up and we're happy with where they are, we will glue those down with a 2-way glue pen. I'm happy with that. So now I'm just going to start adhering these down. Now that we've glued all of our branches on where we want them, we're just going to sit this aside just for a moment, and we're going to take the designer label punch from Stampin' Up, and out of Old Olive cardstock we're just going to cut 2 halves, or not halves, but just above the half line. We don't want to cut these points on either side, so just above those. And we'll cut out 2. Like so. We'll then take a piece of crumb cake, and with the same punch we're just going to cut out a whole one of those. There we go. We're then going to ink with Old Olive. And our sponge, we're just going to ink around the edges of the crumb cake. Then we're going to take our stamp and our early espresso ink pad, and we're just going to ink that and stamp our Look Who's Turning stamp right into the center of the designer label. We're then going to take our 2 Old Olive punch pieces, and we're going to use tape and just tape along the straight edge of the bottom, and then we're just going to place that underneath our crumb cake so that you can just see the edge. And then we're going to repeat that process for the other side. And there we have our tag. I'm not going to put an age in this yet, but I would just write it in with my early espresso Stampin' Write marker. I'm going to put that aside for now, and then we're going to bring back our card. Now we're going to take our label, and that will be adhered to the lower right hand corner of the card, and we'll do that now. There we go. We will now take our 4 leaves and place those on the card where we would like them. I'm going to have one cover this join of the branches. We're just going to put that over the top of that there. And then I'll have one up here. I'll have one down here on the side of the label, and I might have the other one in the top corner of the label, making sure not to cover any of the writing. There we go. Then we're going to take dimensionals, and I'm just going to use the edge of my dimensionals because I'm going to cut them smaller than they would usually be. and I'll cut those in half. Just so you've got the smallest piece of dimensional. And then I'm going to just place those on the back of my leaves. Like so. We've now adhered all the dimensionals to the leaves, and now all we have to do is put those back down where we want them. Okay. We're now going to take our 5 monkeys and with a little bit of glue like so. I'm going to cut this monkey in half, and I'm just going to attach him to the bottom of the card. Over the label. And that is the card for today. I hope you liked it. Bye.